Just on the heels of a good faith effort by Star Wars Books and Del Rey Publishing, with the re-release and reskinning of some classic EU books coming out June 15th, we get this, and everybody is up in arms about it, which I can understand because obviously they're denigrating a bunch of classic Star Wars characters, or seemingly so. But yeah, but there's a big old hairy but. So let's talk about this. I know there's some bad feelings on this one. I completely concur. When I saw the first news breaks of it and started realizing, okay, I've never heard of this character before. Didn't know what it was, but this is what we all were introduced to right off the bat, because this is what Del Rey Books decided to have their lead-in with. This is what they decided to go to bat with to introduce everybody to this new book release. Their Dramatis Personae, this is Latin. I'm not going to go into Latin lessons today, and I'm a little rusty on Latin, and if I've mispronounced that slightly, I apologize, although probably not as bad as Coach on Echo Base Network. Love you, Coach. Any case, so what was everybody upset about? Well, let's just run down the list here. So this is a character introduction. This is basically a stage play or a screenplay written out in a book form, kind of like the stupid thing J.K. Rowling did with a Harry Potter book. I bought it and tried to read through it, and it was like a headache. Not because it's a screenplay or a stage play. I've read those before. It was just kind of blah. I have a feeling this is going to be kind of similar to that, so let's just look at this. Let's see what everybody's upset about. All right, Dr. Chile Lona Afra, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Rogue archaeologist, weapons and droid expert extraordinaire, our intrepid heroine, blah, blah, blah. We go down and we say, let's get to the meat and potatoes here. So we get down to the classic white male, oh God, heroes of the Star Wars universe. And we get to Luke Skywalker, yellow-haired rebel humanoid who is supposedly important for some reason. Okay. And then right underneath that, Han Solo, reformed scoundrel, always claims to save the day, actually useless. Okay. All right. Chewbacca, Han Solo's very loud Wookiee sidekick, no match for Black Cranston, in my opinion. Another character, which I think has a description. Disgraced Wookiee, fearsome bounty hunter, do not challenge him to a pit fight. Okay, it's another Wookiee, a competitor to Chewie. That's all cool. R2-D2, foolhardy BT doppelganger. C-3PO, simpering 000 doppelganger. Just basically a big middle finger right to all the Star Wars characters, classic Star Wars characters. Okay, again, I'm going to take off the memory of everything that's happened in recent events and just look at this pragmatically for what it is. And what it is a story from the perspective of an Imperial scientist, right? Somebody who works for the Emperor, somebody who works for Vader. We have it right there. Again, to repeat, rogue archaeologist, weapons and droid expert extraordinaire, our intrepid heroine. So she works for the Empire. So again, I'm going to take the emotion and the fan reaction out for a second and just look at this from, again, a purely pragmatic standpoint, which is what we try to do here. We try to take business pragmatic approaches to things, and then I'm going to give you my opinion at the end. So that's the but, okay? The but this is from the perspective of an Imperial personality that would obviously loathe the classic Star Wars heroes because they were on the other side of the fight, right? Here's the problem. And this is what kind of sticks out at me. Princess Leia Organa. Rebel royalty has a mean left hook. Well, this character doesn't seem to be too mean to Leia. She just seems to say that, again, a very simple, logical answer. She's royalty and she can punch. Okay. Everybody else kind of gets a little denigrated. And then we go right above to Padme Amidala, the quote, good former queen and senator of Naboo. Again, just a very straight off the cuff, matter of fact response. And the male characters kind of get punked. So here we go. Let's get into this. Again, I think, let me not forget Maz Kanata, because we have to bring in some sequel trilogy Kennedyverse stuff here. Maz Kanata, badass pirate queen, but an incredibly sore loser. Again, we compliment Maz Kanata like we do the other female characters first, and then give them a little dig, whereas the male character is pretty much just, white man bad. I mean, that's what it is. Male characters bad, men bad. So here's the deal. In and of itself, I don't have a problem with a story like this. I don't even have a problem with this character description. Again, when you put it into perspective of who is telling the story, who the first-person narrator or the third-person narrator even is, the perspective of this story is told from an Imperial scientist female character. Okay, to have negative opinions of rebel characters, the heroes that we grew up with, seems pretty logical, right? I can dig that. But it seems to be rather targeted, doesn't it? Just against the male characters. The female characters don't seem to get poo-pooed on nearly as much. If she had said, Leia Organa, that bitch, something like that, okay, I can dig it. But here's the thing. Regardless of that, and here's the problem. Right now, with Star Wars in the state that this is in, that Star Wars is in, this is a bad look. It's a bad look. Okay? Star Wars, Kennedy Star Wars, Lucasfilm, Disney-owned Star Wars, whatever the hell we want to call it nowadays, they have a hell of a hole with the fans to dig themselves out of. And this is the bottom line. I understand from a business perspective, Del Rey puts this out there. They headline these character descriptions as basically creating hype, or at least creating buzz or controversy, more rather, around this book. This is to get articles written. This is to get tweets made. This is to get stuff like this done. When we get the Bounding into Comics article, Star Wars continues to scrape the bottom of the barrel, insults Luke Skywalker and Han Solo again. So this is the whole point of this, is to get people talking about this book, which all well and good. But again, when you start looking at other things, when you start looking at a little bit more of who the author is, and Del Rey did respond to this in a subsequent tweet saying exactly what I'm saying. This is told from the perspective of a character who would absolutely hate our heroes, right? Our Star Wars heroes. Again, that's great. But when you start putting the pieces together, you start seeing what, Kennedy likes to prattle out these days. When you start looking into the author who wrote this book, you're going to find out that just like the Lucasfilm Story Group, not only is this story kind of written behind the guise of a character who hates the male characters, this is my opinion at this point, this book may have been deliberately written from the perspective of a rebel, or of an Imperial character, so that it would soften the blow of Lucasfilm Story Group and Kathleen Kennedy to basically take a hot dump on characters like Luke Skywalker and Han Solo yet again. So again, if we did not have all the perspective that we have with current Star Wars, if we had not been seeing all this stuff come out of Lucasfilm to this point, the Force is female and male characters suck and Luke sucks and Luke's going to drink green alien titty milk and we're going to insult him and turn him into an old bum, and Han Solo's a derelict runaway father who abandoned his children, and Leia and all this crap. If we had not already turned all of the characters in Star Wars under Kennedy's tutelage into a bunch of garbage, then again, this book on its own, I think, would float. I'm disappointed. I don't say disappointed. I'm glad Del Rey was honest about this, but I think in the effort to create buzz around this book, all they've done is sour its sales. I think they could have found a different lead for this, but this is where we are. We're going to keep getting these kind of things until Kathy Kennedy's gone, and hopefully her tenure as director of Star Wars and Lucasfilm will be up indeed when her contract expires in October of this year. Stay tuned. Hopefully things will keep getting better, but we're going to have to keep taking the punches in order to get there, folks. Let me know in the comments below what you think about all this. I want to hear from you guys. Give me your thoughts on this. Anyway, take care.